Today, I'm talking to Nikia Phoenix. Nikia is a model, professional meditator, and reiki master who guides women on their path to self-healing. She's the creator of Black Girl Beautiful, which strives to uplift Black women and is responsible for this gorgeous mural in Atlanta, Georgia. She triples as an Instagram influencer with inspirational captions and badass freckles, which makes me wonder if Black Girl Beautiful is a reflection of herself. I do want to. Oh my gosh, your name is on your mug. Mornings with Nikia.
I'm a morning person, so this thing.
Yes.
I discovered therapy probably in my early 20s when I needed it more than ever. I found a way through therapy to actually address all of the things that had been weighing down on me. Oh man, I don't walk into life with the baggage that I had before.
You feel lighter?
I feel so much lighter.
Was it easy or was it?
Oh my gosh, no. I had breakdowns upon breakdowns and like those aha moments that come at all the wrong times, you know, when you're out in public and you're just like, oh my goodness, did this really just, snap, I gotta go home, you know, so that I can like deal with everything.
My issue was that I would go through relationships and it would always end the same way. And at some point, you have to think like, okay, I'm the common denominator here. The problem has to be me. The problem has to be something I'm not doing or doing. And that was a hard reality to face. To think that, you know, I was so used to projecting and it's everyone else's fault. You know, I can play the victim or I can actually take control and be in the driver's seat of my own life. You'd rather deflect because it's just easier to do than to face your own shit, basically, you know?
Oh my goodness, absolutely. When it keeps coming around over and over and over again, then it's like, girl, you gotta turn the mirror on yourself, like, and do the work. It's so much easier to project and to deflect than it is to actually sit with yourself and realize like, oh wait, this is all coming from the same source. And that source is me. Snap. You know?
You don't really know yourself until you know those things about yourself that you're trying to pretend doesn't exist. For you, like, what do you think it means to like know yourself and to be comfortable with yourself?
To know yourself, it's to know your shadows, it's to know your light, it's to know your darkness and everything in between. And to accept that person no matter what. And also to hold yourself accountable for when you are standing still, when you are holding yourself back from evolution and growth.
I would also like to add like being kind to yourself too. Like when you talk about the things that you like, forgiving yourself for things that you've done, like also in the moments that you do them or immediately after you do them, being kind to yourself in those moments and saying, well, that was not something I should have done. Like that was wrong. But I don't have to like say like, oh, I'm so stupid for doing that, or oh, I'm such a bad person. I'm growing and that was okay for me to go through that in order to become who I want to be.
Often we're afraid to face our truths, but there's so much peace. Eventually, there's so much peace in your truth.
Even when we talk about boundaries, which are incredibly important to have in any relationship that you have, you should have boundaries. I feel like you have to know yourself to know when it's a boundary and when it's a wall.
You know, girl, that is so layered. You threw a whole bunch of boundaries are containers for what is good for you and what is healthy, right? Anything that is outside of that boundary is not where you want to be. We often allow our fears to show up before we do, and that affects how we speak to people. I literally have had friends that have said like, baby girl, who's hurt you? And I'm just like, oh. A lot of our toughness is coming from like a huge place of fear, and I don't want to get hurt again. I don't want to open myself up again. There's so much strength in our vulnerability. We think that it's weakness, but it's not. It's like if you're able to put yourself out there and own up to your feelings, to your fears, to some of your doubts, when you own up to it, nobody else is going to own that. Nobody else can like take that power away from you. When you put it all out on the table like that, then what's up?
That's the difference between a boundary and a wall. Like a wall is fear and it can be disguised as a boundary. But if you look at your boundaries and you think, okay, why am I actually setting these boundaries? Is it through fear or through love? Then I think that's when you have your answer.
I had a tarot reading, and it was after a yoga class, and the card that I got, just, oh my gosh, just read me. The tarot reader said, the way that you think that you're showing up in the world is actually different from the way you're realistically showing up in the world. Your perspective is blocked by something. And I was like, blocked by what? What are you talking about? I'm doing all I'm doing yoga, I'm showing, and it's like, no, but like there's a facade, there's a wall.
So we think of like the external things, like, oh, maybe I do yoga, maybe I'm a plant person, maybe I'm this and that. You know what I mean? Like these external things, like I want to dress this way, I want to look like this, I want to wear my hair like this. And like, why am I using that to define me and not like who I want to be as a person? Like, how do I want to feel? How do I want to show up for others, show up for the world? Like, those are the things that make me who I am, or that should make me who I am, and the things that are going to make me the happiest in the long run.
Modern culture, Western culture specifically, has us thinking that we have to buy things and put things on to feel better, but we need to work on the inside, and then that'll radiate out. There's a difference between being supportive and carrying the relationship and carrying that person. I don't need to be carrying anyone but myself. And that doesn't mean that's not selfish, because if I can't show up as myself, my true self, my best self in a relationship, then I'm doing myself and the other person a disservice. I'm going to tell you exactly what I said to a boyfriend as we were breaking up. I said, I finally come to the point where I realize that it's either going to be you or me, and it absolutely has to be me. I have to choose myself because I've been choosing you for way too long. When we talk about intuition, you feel, that is a gut feeling, right? That is a very gut feeling. And I think that oftentimes we don't listen to what our bodies are telling us. We don't listen to, like when you have a lump in your throat, you're not, you're like trying to bury something and you don't want to say something that actually needs to come up. Like when you meet somebody and like your stomach kind of like rumbles and you're like, oh, that is your intuition. Your body has like points where it like specifically is telling you things, but we've been convinced that we shouldn't listen. Like, I think that oftentimes we also think that we have to make split decisions on everything, and you actually don't. You can take your time and sit with something and really get in touch with how you feel about that person, that thing, that situation. You can sit with it before you actually have to make a move.